Good afternoon, guys. I hope that 1111 portal was, kind to you as well as gentle. I know the energies have been really rough for me, and I know a lot of people that have been dealing with the energies as well as the new moon in Scorpio coming up. It's been really heavy energy. There's a lot of emotions. There's a lot of energy. There is. It's funny because I was channeling a while ago, about chaotic energy. Um, it's kind of very similar, but now it has direction. It's like before the chaotic energy that I was channeling like a month or two ago that I was feeling, and like all this change energy. Wasn't sure like of direction. Um, and that's the way like I'm feeling it, right? The way I'm trying to explain it. Like looking back at it and as in compared to today. And now these energies have direction. And it's like you better be in the flow to go with these energies. Because if you fight it, if you resist it, then it's like going to drag you down and drag you under. But even if you surrender to it, there's still, it's exhausting. There is some heaviness. I know a lot of other people are feeling really heavy. I'm not, it's not affecting me, the heaviness as much. I'm more exhausted and feel depleted. But I know a lot of people who are dealing with like all the heavy energies because they're more resisting, right? I know that these energies, even though they're not like really heavy for me, with them being exhausting, they're like depleting me. They're taking me down. Let alone with a lot of things going on in my life, and there's a lot of change. As well as like I'm kind of under the weather. Okay, so this morning I channeled XIX and some other things. It looked like a sun or like a starburst. And then all of a sudden there was an angel in it. It looked like she was gifting something. And then I was seeing fives and threes, and there was something else. I don't remember what it was. And then when I was getting ready to come on here, I got some names. I got Sandy, and I think I got Sean. And then there was something else that I couldn't make out. And then there was something that started with an M, and it was like changing up. So it was like some different M names, because it was at least 2 or 3 M names that were changing, and I could not make them out. So, I'm sharing them because, Spirit knew that I was getting ready to come on here. And so, they were giving me stuff. So that's what I'm sharing. I'm not sure exactly what it was about, but I needed to share. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and pull some cards. I know right before I came on here also in regards to the sun, and then I was like, okay, what am I going to put for my title? And then I heard that the sun comes out. Or the sun comes up is what I heard. And I was like, okay. And then like, go look. I go look. Actually, it's a song or it was a movie or something like that back in the late 40s. And let me see the lyrics here. I read a little bit of the lyrics. And then I just stopped. I was kind of like blown away. So it's not actually the sun comes up, it's sun comes up. But, they told me the sun comes up. And so I put that in here, and this is what came up. And it says, I wonder, maybe they'd never find me. I've been waiting such a long, long time to feel it, swallowed by the waters around me. Though I took so many wrong turns to see it. And then, whoa. But I danced through the blisters at night, and I laughed till I cried, and I cried, and I ran till my feet couldn't run no more. And then it's no more, no more. And I sang till my lungs were burning, till I know I'm alive, yeah. I'll sit till I can't hear words no more. So suddenly the sun comes up, and I feel my love flooding back again. So obviously this has to do with like heartbreak, right? Um, and being swallowed by those emotions of your heart being broken, and and then being able to feel like happiness again, or not being overran by those emotions in that darkness and the sun shining on you. To me, it kind of sounds like they were chasing it, or they were running from the heartbreak and like trying to chase the sun. Um, and it was really, I didn't read all of that when I checked. Actually, I'm not going to read it all. I'm not going to read no more. Just in case if I get any more channelings. I know personally for myself, it just really blew my mind away, because thinking about my own journey and like how stubborn I can be, and that I don't even realize sometimes when I'm resisting, and sometimes like um, I'll be chasing or like the pursuit of happiness, and then realizing the fuck I'm avoiding, or I'm trying to outrun the destruction. And I've learned that about me in this journey, and how stubborn I can be. So it really blew my mind. Um, I know there has been a lot of change going on for everyone, and there has been a lot of opportunities too for more growth and more change, especially to be able to like see yourself, right? How can we really make change in our life and have what we deserve in our life if we can't see ourselves? If we try to outrun things, avoid things, or just chase a dream without living in the present moment, and having more understanding of our life experience, it's kind of like living on autopilot, right? Or as a robot, like oblivious to everything going around you, but like so focused, like hyper focused on the future. Well, what kind of happiness are you going to have? What kind of life are you having in that present moment if you are just chasing the future, right? It's about learning how to live in the present moment. That's where we find happiness. That's where we find joy. It's not waiting till tomorrow and saying, when tomorrow comes, I'm going to be happy, or when tomorrow comes, I'm going to be successful so that I can take a break, or I can enjoy life, or I can have love, because you never know if tomorrow's going to come. It's taking that time and finding it in every present moment of each and every single day. So, yeah, I know, this past couple of days I've been feeling really dragged, and there's something going on with these energies, as well as probably my healing. Um, but for a minute I was like, thinking, oh my God, do I have the flu? And I don't. And the more and more I realized as 11/11 was coming, there's things going on with my body, and like healing, and the energy that I'm receiving. And normally, like I tell people, when I channel, I can tingle and I can feel things, like like my nose is tingling right now, in my head, and like I'll get all these feelings inside of my body. That's why sometimes I can sit here and channel, and like if I'm working with a client, and then I can know like they have back pain, or they have knee pain, or something like that, right? Or if I tap into a deceased loved one, and make that channeling and connection with the deceased loved one, I might be able to know that they had heart problems or diabetes or something, because of the feelings that I'm given inside my body, and then like deciphering that to my knowledge, right? So I get all these feelings, and I just realized it was like a massive and like intensified feeling of those tingles, where it was kind of like my body was vibrating and shaking, and certain chakras were even worse, but it was going on in my whole body. And it was like coming from the core, like the center of me. It wasn't like cold chill shakes. It was really, really strange. And I've still actually been like feeling that when I have time to just kind of sit and be. Like if I've been working on some drawings or painting, and I'm sitting there and just being silent and just breathing, or when I'm resting to fall asleep at night, then I start feeling it in certain chakras, and then I can feel it all over my body, or vice versa. Like meaning, I might start feeling it a little bit all over my body, and then certain chakras will intensify. It's been something really strange, and it started, I think, about 3 days before 11/11, and the night before 11/11, like that late night, it got so intense. And then on 11/11, it was so bad. It weaned out later on 11/11. It wasn't as intense as it was the day before, and like how it like peaked, and now it's starting to dissipate. So there's something going on with the energies that I'm receiving and how it's affecting my body and channeling, as well as like healing. Because it's not just energies that I'm receiving and channelings I'm receiving in regards to information for like other people, or because it's all information. Some of it is healing information, like for me, right? But there's been this intensification, and I know there's this like there's really this pull for me to kind of pull me under and kind of sedate me, kind of keep me, I think, in the darkness, but mellowed in the darkness instead of, there's two places you can be in the darkness. You can be in the darkness and you can be in fear, or you can be in the darkness and feel all of those emotions and surrender to them, but not feel afraid, not be negative. And so what I'm talking about, sitting in that darkness, is sitting in those feelings and surrendering to that, and just like floating through them is what they're like really pulling me to try to do, to like sedate myself, like a sedation, right? Of overcoming the darkness, instead of like resisting it or fighting it off. And that's a new thing for me, in how they're having me look at it, as well as how I'm processing. It has been, in this healing journey, it has been a struggle to surrender to that. And so it's been something that I have been talking to Spirit about. I know like 6 years ago and stuff like that, like, through everything that I had been through in life, I was able to find peace. I was able to surrender into all of those emotions up until then, into that darkness, and overcome it. And what transpired and kept transpiring after that, every single time I have been struggling, I can make kind of like you take a big rock and you make little chips and fragments. I can make little nothing superficial into it. But to delve into it, I have been struggling, and I've been working like all these years to delve into like all of this hurt and pain. And then during that, all of this hurt and pain just kept getting worse, all this heartbreak and all this loss, all this grief, all dealing with abuse and just fuckery, right? Things that, you're just tired of dealing with, when you're already exhausted, and realizing that something that happened to me in the process of this healing journey, it closed my heart off. And so all of this has been needed to take me the fuck down and take me under, because something inside of me, I have been so resistant to going under, right? To sitting there. It's been so painful. It's been so heavy. And to realize that all these years, that's what I've been working on. And still trying to get there. And Spirit is just like, you can do this. And I'm like, I don't even know. I don't know what is going on inside of me where my body's built this resistance or whatever. I know that in this journey, I found a lot of people doing witchcraft on me. I know that that's affected me. And I don't know if that's added to it also. I'm not, I know it has, but it's like, I don't know how much. Like, Spirit doesn't always can't divulge everything to me. And even when they do, sometimes my logical mind doesn't really comprehend it all. I I'm not someone who dreams. I only dream if I'm having prophetic dreams, or I'm having, like, if I'm astral projecting and I'm doing healing work somewhere, or something, right? There's something going on. I don't always remember that, but if it's important, significant, then I'll remember. Other than that, like, I only remember like prophetic things that I'm being given. Anything that has to do with healing, I may or may not remember it. I'm very active at night, but they wipe my memory. Because there's always like a lot of stuff going on. And sometimes I'll remember bits and pieces of things, especially like going like past lives and stuff like that. When I was younger, it's funny because I never used to dream, but I always used to astral projection. And like in my sleep, I would astral projection, and my guides would get really upset with me because I would bubble myself. And it's funny because I'd be up in the cosmos, like I would just be up out in like outer space. And I would like have this protective bubble around me, and I wouldn't let anyone in it. I wouldn't even let my spirit guides in it. And they would get really upset with me. So I do a lot of that, where I just, zen out. Probably like, when you struggle with like abuse and stuff like that, and then being prophetic and having these abilities, like, I have them from past lives, but I also have them in this life from abuse, like near-death experiences and stuff like that. So that's like my comfort zone, right? So if it's something like that, I don't even remember anymore. I just, but that's when they're always trying to hit me for healing. And it took me a long time. Like in this healing journey, I realized why they were so upset with me when I was young, and I would bubble myself because I wouldn't allow them in. And I, I'm not sure exactly what I was thinking. But regardless of that, what I learned is the reason they were upset was because it was harder for them to help me heal, because I was closing myself off to them, right? They had to be outside my bubble, my protective bubble, and I wouldn't allow them in. And so while I'm there and I'm zenning and I'm protecting myself in this bubble, not letting my spirit guides in, then it's harder for them to work on helping me heal and helping me transmute things and understand things, right? I shut them out. And it's so funny because I didn't know that then, but I learned that in this journey, that what I thought I was doing for my betterment, and that was like nothing, like it wasn't harmful, was actually something that was like a detriment to me, because I was closing my heart off and closing myself off by protecting myself from spirit and like my spirit guides when and there's times that we've been in arguments when they'd be like, let me in. Like, no. Like, I know when I was really young, I just thought it was cool, right? To have these abilities and to be able to like float out in the cosmos, right? And and so, I just, probably part of me wanted to just feel, and be on my own, like, and especially being an empath, because I was also trying to, shut out their energies, because I could feel them and, get things, and I wanted that peace, and to think that, I didn't have the knowledge or whatever to set boundaries, right? Instead, that boundary was no, stay out. Instead of speaking, right? Instead of voicing my boundaries and what was going on with me. And I learned how I shut out spirit and how I hindered myself with my abilities and spirit being able to help me also. So that's been something that I've been making peace with, because that was a new profound epiphany here that I've had, where I'm thinking I was doing things for myself in a loving way actually hindered me, right? They made more obstacles for me, and then I wasn't able to grow in certain things because of closing off spirit. So anyways, these energies and the especially like water is intuitive, as well as intuitive, and there's wisdom there, and the depths of hell wisdom of going deep and under, I thank God that I have been opened enough to understand, like looking in that mirror, my shadow self, right? In regards to Scorpio and scorpionic energy and my scorpionic energy. Spirit has been helping open me up to that. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take a sip, and I'm going to go ahead and do some tarot cards for tapping into these energies and do a reading. I found that looking back and overgoing things and like going through reflecting, my abilities are always changing. And see, that has been something that has been difficult for me also, is not the noticeable, like how I was saying, how the energies that I was receiving, especially for before 11/11, and how then they intensified, tapping into those energies, and then that cosmic portal there opened, intensifying all the energies as a channeler that I'm receiving. That's something more expected, but these other things up where there's this evolution and change within me, my growth, and then my abilities, how I have like dropped the ball. So it's been really interesting in seeing what God, Spirit, Universe has been gifting me with and seeing in regards to myself. And I'm excited to see where it's going to lead me in my growth, right? Because when you see things about you that are not so, your shadow or things that limit you, even if they're not from distortion, right? They're from lack of experience or understanding or a mixture of distortion, like that wanting to feel safe or alone and not feeling somebody's energies. That's why I would keep my spirit guides and angels and like ascended masters that would come and like hang out with me, and then I would bubble them out. I'd push them out, and be like, no. There's been multiple times where it'd be only one, or there would be three or like five, and there'd be all these people outside of my bubble, like, and they'd be like, let us in. No, the bubble's not. Like, it's really funny. It's kind of like giving someone who doesn't know how to drive fucking keys to the car, and they're fucking crashing into shit. I mean, if you think about it, and I'm laughing at it now because I never seen it that way. Like with my abilities, that's what I would do to them, and they'd be so pissed off. And I'm thinking, well, I just don't want to feel you guys. I don't want to deal with this. I just want my peace. I just want to, that was my meditative state. That was my healing, regenerate myself, right? So I stopped team working with spirit. I stopped collaborating with them because, and feeling overwhelmed by them also. And that was my only quiet time. That was my sanctuary. And instead of expressing this to them so we could set healthy boundaries, see, that's what it is when you're naive and you're young. And so, and then not growing from there, I would tune them out. I'm not kidding. That's where I realized, like, I'm so stubborn. I was like, oh shit. And spirit's been hounding me for years. And I'm like, my abilities change, but I'm not sure how to deal with them. And they're like, you did it, right? And I'm like, how the fuck did I do it? I don't understand how I did it. Because I haven't been wanting to, like, first I was denying myself because of being raised, Christian, and then finally like speaking on who I was when I was a teenager, and that, like I knew my grandfather was going to die. Like I knew, like I had visions of my father dying, like all these things. And then so speaking, and then I could see my spirit guides and being told I was a witch, instead of someone embracing me and being like, oh, God gifted her with these abilities and these gifts. That's something sacred, right? And so they didn't nurture me and support me. Instead, they deterred me and made me hate myself. And so I can see there was more closed offness, so. But yeah, it's like being wet behind the ears and someone not knowing, and my wounds. Now that's where you go with your wounding. Because my wounding, because of like growing up in abuse, and I wasn't allowed to speak my truth, and like all these things, so I didn't know how to verbalize to spirit those things, and they'd be upset with me. So I'm learning that my communication skills with spirit have been so horrible. And it's funny because I've known this, right? Because they've been hounding me for a long time that I need to talk more to them and ask more questions or whatever. I guess I don't ask enough. And so there's this new profound depth of, do you see how bad you've been doing things? Do you see how you've been dropping the ball? Do you see, like, how, I guess that's the Gemini in me also, like that innocence and naivety, right? How stupid I have been in regards to my abilities. And it comes also, it's connected to my wounds, because of needing to feel safe. And so how that's hindered my growth and hindered my connection with spirit. I remember a certain point in time where I was sick and tired of hearing my spirit guides. They'd be chanting to me and speaking another language, and I didn't fucking know it. And I would be aggravated with them, so then I would try tuning them out. Like, that's why I think it's like, so when my kids were growing up, I think it is so important to speak to your children about everything. God, universe, life, teaching them about religion, but also spirituality, because religion is a tool to teach you how to connect with God, God source energy, the creator of all things, no matter what it is you see or believe it to be, right? I believe we all pray to the same God or the same energy source. We just do it differently. So I made sure that I did that for my children. I would pray for them, and I'd talk to them about God. I'd read the Bible with them, but I would also have very spiritual and, like alien, like, metaphysical conversations with them, very in-depth conversations with them, about the stars and universe and love and life and the connection of kind of like all things. And, when they were growing up, I had some neighbors. One day they were like, I need to say something to you. I was like, okay. They're like, we're not trying to be rude, but we wanted to say something. And I was like, okay. And which I already knew, I just didn't know the depths, right? By them speaking, and then I knew the depths of what I already knew. Because I already knew that they were paying attention to me and stuff, and that they were nosy, right? I just didn't know what all they were getting, okay? So I knew they were nosy Nancy's and whatever, but they let me know how bad of nosy Nancy's they were in regards to eavesdropping on me and my children and my family, and how I treat my kids and how I talk to them. And they said, we stalk you. They were like, we can't help it. We're in awe over you. And they're like, we wish we would have had like a fraction of what you have as a mom when we were raising our kids. Like, we're not even that way now, and we're grown. We sit here and we just watch you. And then they're like, yeah, we have our mom come over, which was the grandmother, and they were old enough, they could have been my parents. So then it'd be like my parents and then grandmother. They would have them come over, and they would all watch and listen and eavesdrop and try to hide to watch me and my kids and how I interact with them and talk to them. And they were amazed by it, like the type of mom that I am and how I am with my children. And I think it's important, because I know for myself, I'm not the only one like me, right? And then we're all different, we're all unique. And so, if we don't have this foundation and be able to have access to support, how are we going to grow? How are we going to feel comfortable? How are we going to know? You know what I'm saying? How are we going to have this love and this openness to be able to grow and expand in who we are and love us the way that we need to be loving us? Because we don't necessarily know the way we need to love. We need to learn how to do that. But when you're closed off and shut down, and I speak in regards to that, in regards to finally when I said something to my grandmother, and then, other people. My one grandmother, she believed it because she was part American Indian. And so she would call me all the time when I was a teenager and ask me for numbers to play the lotto. And I tell her all the time, that is not why they give me these abilities, right? It is not for you to play the freaking lottery, okay? It is not for you to win money. Like I would be really ticked off because I'd always have to tell her, because she'd always be calling me. And I'm like, that's not what God gives me. And it pissed me off. Even as a teenager, like, what kind of integrity do you have? You're trying to utilize me and my abilities for your own fucking benefit and gain. This is not why God gave me these gifts. And she was all gung-ho about my abilities until then I told her about my father dying. And then all of a sudden it was, I was not right. But before that, I had no one that I could speak to. And then after that, like I had no one I could speak to, right? Because she just wanted to use me for my abilities for her own gain. And then my other grandmother thought I was a witch, right? Now, my grandmother, who was part American Indian, yeah, her mom was American Indian, so like she was okay with it. It wasn't witchcraft to her, right? This was, she didn't have this abilities, you know what I'm saying? So, oh yay, I did. This is how it's supposed to be, right? That carrying on that lineage. But she didn't have the development to be able to teach me and support me, the maturity, the intellect, as well as the integrity or the experience, because she didn't have abilities. So we need to be open, whether we have them or not, in communication. And for some reason, communication is so big and so important. And they've been telling me that for months now, too. And it's not just for me in my own journey, right? It is. But why is it important for me in my journey? It's important for me in my journey because it's also been hindered because of how I was taught. That's why I try to do differently with my children, but this goes on in society. Children are afraid to come and talk to their parents. Children are afraid to tell them how they're really doing or how they're feeling like they're going to be shamed or not loved, or they're going to burden their parents, or they're not going to be accepted, or, there's all these things going on. And, we need to learn how to have a greater capacity to love and have a greater capacity for acceptance so that we can teach our children to love each other and accept themselves, so that we can have a healthier society. And it starts with us, right? So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shuffle these cards now. And my voice, my throat chakra is now going out. Not too sure why. I haven't been talking a whole lot, but when I have, it hasn't been going out, but now it is. Just bear with me, please, bear with me. Anyways, we're going to find out what Spirit wants us to know in regards to these energies, what has been going on in regards to the energies with the 1111 portal in conjunction with the new moon in Scorpio. They are 2 days apart from each other, so they are affecting each other. They are playing off of each other. And actually, that's not what I was planning on doing, so hold on here, I'm catching up. I was just going to do an energy reading. So hold on, I'm catching up because, Spirit has me talking sometimes and saying things that hold on, I want to take back, retract. I want to sit here and contemplate on this. They're like, no, you don't have time for this. Okay. So we're going to be finding out what's going on with these energies today collectively. And it is a conjunction of these energies from today, and they are including yesterday's 1111 portal and tomorrow's new moon in Scorpio. They are playing off of each other. They are helping assist each other for good or for bad, right? Because it's perception. It's all about your perception. So let's see what Spirit wants us to know in regards to these energies. The Ten of Swords. Completion of a cycle. For me, it's funny because I know a lot of people who are afraid of the Death card in tarot. And the fear that they have in regards to the Death card and the stigma around it. If you're going to feel anything for anything, I think it's like the 10 of Swords, the 9 of Swords, and the 7 of Swords. Sometimes the 3 of Swords. But the 10 of Swords is completion. So think about all the swords that you had to go through, all of the mental energy, all of the heartbreak and nasty communication, right? Unskilled, inexperience, rudeness, immaturity, toxicity, and then there's that fear wrapped around it, right? So you've got relationships and you've got communication and you've got all of these things in regards to swords and the swords energy that have just destroyed you. I mean, if you think about it, a lot of times people depict the 10 swords in someone's back, or, they'll have a sword, but the rest they've taken out. To think that you've been stabbed by these 10 fucking swords and you've been struggling, it has to do with your mental capacity, right? Your communication, deception, betrayal, anxiety, fear, heartbreak, all of these things. Nasty, rough communication, competitive, like fighting and arguing, people trying to one-up each other, type energy. That's like the kick you when you're down energy. And it's like, so you're down. And when you're in these swords energy, it's like you're down and out. But think about having to go through being down and out and kicked while you're down and out 10 freaking times. And think about that hole getting bigger and bigger, that you're going under further, right? There's like this kicking you when you're down energy. But this is completion of a cycle. If you're not there yet, it's the inevitable, where this is coming to a completion. There's no stopping it. You can drag it on. You can hold on. You can refuse, and you can make it stretch out longer. There's this rebirth. There's this change and transformation. They're pulling me to the snake in the water. So in regards to all of this mental torture, there is this change, this evolution, this rising above, this transformation in regards to your emotional well-being, your spiritual, they're telling me spiritual status. Hold on here. I'm trying to understand why they're telling me spiritual status. I don't know, but they're telling me spiritual status. They're telling me it doesn't matter, but for whoever this is going to be resonating with, it has to do with your spiritual status and rising in spiritual status, because of the lessons that you've learned, or the growth, or the maturity that you've had in this, what is meant for your transformation, is what they're telling me. You have to take that, how that applies for you in your life. That's what they're giving me. I'm not going to argue with them. Sometimes I do, though. They want me to take this. Strength. We have the Strength card. This is Leo energy. The strength to get back up. It's okay. What I'm getting with this is there is like a needed Four of Swords energy here. It's like taking that time to process and allow yourself to alchemize or transform, or make peace with this ending, is what I'm getting with this energy. And then having the strength to move forward, and having the strength to it's kind of like they're showing me like fumbling the ball, fumbling around in the dark. So it's having the strength to fumble through this transformation. It's like this completion, and what you're going into now takes strength, but yet it's like you're in darkness and you're fumbling, is what they're showing me. So strength is needed. And in this is where you're rising the fuck up. This is where you are coming out of like the darkness, or, oh God, it's going through the darkness. So, yeah, because you're fumbling around in the fucking, sometimes I'm slow. You're fumbling around in the fucking dark. The strength to keep moving through the darkness while you're fumbling and trying to figure it out. To transform and transmute and like alchemize and process out what you have gone through. So to me, it's kind of like, what they're showing me is kind of like a void, but this void is intentional of processing out, acceptance, and like that for that completion of this cycle, and allowing yourself to like have this transformation, and having the strength of fumbling around in the dark. So it's kind of like a voided area of darkness, of fumbling around, fumbling through the darkness of this completion. Okay. And then we have the Page of Wands. It's like it's not always gonna rain, or it's not always gonna be dark, right? The sun is gonna shine again. So this fumbling around in the darkness and this void and this process out and having the strength to go through that cycle of that voided completion, processing, right? And figuring it out. What I'm getting is it's also like the figuring out. It's kind of like a web behind the ears is what I'm feeling. And the reason I'm repeating this is because it has to do with this energy. Because you're trying to figure out, okay, the Page of Wands has to do with enthusiasm and passion, right? So it's not allowing life and you being knocked the fuck down and dragged under, kicked while you were fucking down, to take your enthusiasm, your passion, your happiness, your joy, your creativity, right? But it's like not allowing that to happen. You still need to kind of rest. You need to be in this void area and have strength, right? Because there's transformation this void is not really a void. It's a transformation state is what they're showing me. And strength is needed for that so that you can overcome this in that Page of Wands energy with enthusiasm for life, with hope, with passion and this newfound sense of yourself, right? And what life has to offer is what they're giving me. Like not letting someone rob you of your fucking joy. We have the Hierophant. Okay. This Hierophant is your higher learning. It's contracts and higher learning. This voided area that I was talking about, we're going back there. And remember, I was talking about the snake in the water. And there was this spiritual, they said this, what was it? Spiritual ranking or something like that. They told me like a higher leveling. It has to do with you and your King of Cups. This maturity here, this whatever took place was to teach you how to still have passion, how to not let anyone rob you of your joy, but to have this growth, emotional, spiritual growth, to then master your emotions as a King of Cups. That's why the Hierophant is here for higher learning and also contracts. Like this is something that was meant to be for your greater good so that you can master your emotions. And in this mastering your emotions, you're cycling through all of this. You're transforming, you're transmuting, you're needing to have strength to go through this fumbling in the dark, walking around in the dark. What this is like holding on to hope, not allowing someone like during that darkness, during this needing to ride that wave underworld of this acceptance and processing. It's also learning to still have your joy for this Page of Wands and your enthusiasm for life and knowing that life is what you fucking make it, right? But sometimes we need to take a break. So that is what's like you're needing to hold on to this because of your higher learning and understanding that this has to do with that spiritual ranking, that spiritual, whatever they were telling me here, I done and forgot it. In rising up, it's because of you becoming this King of Cups for mastery over your emotions. So it's more to the story here. They're also showing me like a combination of combining this Page of, that's not what they showed me, the Page of Cups with the King of Cups, but what they showed me is combining the child within you that is resilient and has happiness and has drive and enthusiasm and if they fall down, they get the fuck back up and they're like, oh wow, they shake it off. It's combining that then with the mastery of your emotions in this King of Cups, meshing them together is what they're showing me. This spiritual evolution or ranking is in hiring the fuck up. They're both needed, and they're needed to be incorporated is what they're showing me. So it's like, take a break if you need to, go slow if you need to. You're fumbling around in the dark trying to figure this out. It's like it's elevating yourself. You're being elevated. I mean, can you imagine being elevated to, okay, so a normal King of Cups, they are going to be slow like a fucking turtle. Okay, so they can sometimes seem cold, but then they can be wishy-washy. Okay, no joke. I'm not even kidding you. They can seem really wishy-washy and really flaky. Okay, because they might be interested in you, but then they don't want to take action because, see, they're not quick to jump. They're not quick to fall in love. They're not quick to, so their heart, even though they have this mastery because they've been through hell and back and they've had to master their emotions, it's like, even though they master their emotions, it's a part of them kind of has an underlocking key. And what Spirit is showing me is it's not about having an underlocking key. You don't need, if you have mastery over your emotions, you don't need to have an underlocking key. So it's like an elevation. It's like, so if you first master your emotions, like what they're showing me as like a level 1 King of Cups would be, you just learn how to master your emotions. You don't, you're fragile. You're more sensitive. So it's underlocking key. You're really sensitive. Nobody disturb my peace, because you have to maintain, because you just learned like that fumbling in the dark of, I learned how to find this peace. I learned how to overcome this. Now I'm like, don't know how to kind of adjust, right? And this is what they're showing me. Well, then they learn how to master it. And then when they get there, it's still this, how did they build themselves up? They kind of closed themselves down to learn how to adapt, to adjust, and that built them in that way, right? Where part of them was closed off. You have to think about your environment and how you do something. This is then who you are. And so what they're showing me is being refined, or an elevation, or rising as the King of Cups, because it's like that lock and key that you put yourself under to rise to be a King of Cups for protection and for that growth. It's not that it was faulty, but in a way it's like it was faulty is what they're showing me, but it wasn't faulty. They're showing me it's not faulty. It's just maybe how you went about it was faulty is what they're showing me. Okay, so now there's this evolution, this rising as a King of Cups. So now you have to break open that lock and throw away that key and learn how to master your emotions again in the right way, instead of underlocking key, and still be able to hold on to that childlike wonder of resilience and passion and enthusiasm for fucking life. It's like they want you to be quicker on the draw. I say King of Cups is like turtle energy for a reason, because, they, and why they're wishy-washy, or why they are like fickle and whatever, is because they can like someone, but they've learned, because of heartbreak and not wanting to, that they won't allow someone in, because they might want love again, but they don't really want to fall in love, right? Because they don't want to be hurt again. That's that closed offness that I'm feeling. So it's like they keep everyone's at arm's length. And if they do decide to kind of open the door a little bit, then it's like they've got this backup door, is what they're showing me. And then that has a key. They're never really fully vulnerable with that maturity. There was something like in this growth that, I don't know, just is hindering of them, right? So there's this evolution of combining, of having the mastery of the King of Cups, and it's like a re-alchemizing, readjusting of the King of Cups and how they became the King of Cups, and tearing away that faulty foundation within them and having them kind of start over again. So now this time they can be a King of Cups, but better. Like instead of 1.0, now it's 2.0 is what they're showing me. Because now, you're not gonna let something pass you by that's meant for you, because you're afraid to get hurt, because you're under lock and key, right? You are still going to embrace life and have joy and have enthusiasm and know you're resilient. Yes, you'll go slow because you're still the King of Cups. You have this emotional maturity. So you're not going to be hot-headed like the King of Wands or the Knight of Wands and be just seeking fucking self pleasure and love and happiness and, with that fire that's fickle, and falsity and passion, right? That immaturity. You have this here where you're combining that King of Cups with that Page of Wands where, there's this innocence and resilience and passion still. And that's what I'm getting. So it's a hiring up from like a 1.0 to like a 2.0 in this King of Cups energy, meshing it. They were showing me like the DNA strands and like meshing of these energies and like things falling away of what's not serving of you, and incorporating in like these energies of this Page of Wands. And that's why it's so important to have the strength for this Page of Wands energy. This Page of Wands energy is what's needing to be incorporated in this King of Cups energy. This King of Cups has been through the Ten of Swords before. So they've been at the King of Cups. They're being pegged down. They've been brought down, right? They are having this cycle. They've been tore the fuck down through all these 10 swords so that they can have completion of how they were made. What made them and their triggers and their behavior patterns to make them the king that they were, of the King of Cups. Because there was something faulty there. So the strength is needed in this like void energy to have this Page of Wands energy still. So yeah, now I can see like the spiritual ranking or this spiritual whatever, it was something in regards to like spiritual increase. That's what it was. I think it was a spiritual increase, wasn't it? I don't know, but that's what we're getting here. It's funny, King of Cups, that's Scorpio energy and that new moon in Scorpio. Oh shit. Hold on. I need to take a sip and I will tell you what they just told me. So everything for me is like it's like the puzzle pieces, or it's like the legwork, right? The preparation to get you there. What they're showing me here with that portal and then with the new moon. This is what's going on. And the Hierophant in between. So everything that's happened up until then in these portal energies of helping them to transform, right? That's what they're showing me. What took place? Oh my God. And they're pulling me to the eclipse and that eclipse energy. So that eclipse energy. And Mars, I don't know what it is with Mars, but Mars has been coming up a lot lately. And I don't know why, but they're like, it's like what they're showing me and telling me here is in regards to, it's not just that portal, but it has to do with that last eclipse that we had. This is what they're telling me. I can't explain what they're showing me. So this is new moon in Scorpio, the King of Cups, right? And then this, but they're showing me the energy of this Page of Wands is a mixture of Mars, the eclipse that we just had, and then this portal. I don't know why they're showing it to me like that. And then them like coming together, combined in. No, I get it now. Okay. I cannot explain what they're showing me and what they're making me feel. Yes, but I'm not explaining it. I don't know how to explain it all good enough. There's something with that eclipse and something with Mars, something with the portal. Hold on. That has to do with this, okay? So this is the new moon in Scorpio, the King of Cups. This portal opened the doorway as the Hierophant for the eclipse. And then there's something to do with Mars. I don't know, but that's what they're showing me and that's what they're telling me. I'm not sure what it has to do with Mars. That is Wands, though. I'm not sure what I know Mars rules Aries. It also it used to be the old ruler of Scorpio. Now Pluto. Now, oh my God. Now Pluto rules Scorpio. The meshing of the 2.0. Oh my God. So it's like something with this is like a timeline jump for somebody. Anyone who made it through that fucking portal for this hierophant energy is what they're showing me. So certain people are going to this 2.0 in this energy of this higher ranking in regards to the meshing of like the energies of Mars and Pluto for Scorpio. I don't know why they're showing me that, but that's what they're showing me. And it has to do with something with that last eclipse. And then that portal is they're showing me is the Hierophant. That's the best I can explain in regards to what they're showing me and then what they've told me. And I'm like fumbling something. That's what the best I can do in regards to explaining that. Huh. Interesting. All right. The bottom of the deck is 7 of Cups. That's illusions. Overcoming illusions. Oh, wow. Overcoming illusions. The illusions, all of the 10 swords, all of what created the illusions, and then having it like all of those towers come down, or all of the stabbings, or, in those 10 swords of how you receive the 10 swords, the heartbreak and deception, betrayal, backstabbing, nasty communication, anxiety, panic, all of that, what they're showing me took place because of illusions. And then like needing to overcome, like there's this grasping, or this what was real, what wasn't real, right? Because of the illusions and because of all the towers, or all of these swords, they're showing their swords as towers. But there's lots, what I think they're showing me their swords as towers now because of all that went into that foundation of the sword. From the illusions, from whatever situations they were, right? And how it all created the illusions. And ultimately how it made the person, the King of Cups, that like 1.0 version, where now you're needing to be cracked open again so you can elevate. It's the best way that I can explain it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull another spread. I'm doing some other cards here and see if there's anything else they want us to know. All right, Spirit, do you have anything else for us? Can we get a second group, please? Normally they are connected. All right, Spirit, what do you have for us? What else would you like us to know? Can we please get a second group? I'm kind of tapped out just from those cards. I've been channeling a lot. I don't actually need the cards, but people would probably think I'm more banana nuts. The cards kind of give you validation, right? Those synchronicities, those confirmations. I don't need cards to channel. We have the 2 of Swords. This one's peace. The illusions, the indecisions. We're going back to the first one and making peace. But then to the 10 of Swords, where it all transpired to. So it's then making peace with all these 10 of Swords, all of the illusions, all of the swords that were placed in your back, or all the faulty foundations, what they're showing me, making peace with it all, that process. So they're elaborating more on that. Fumbling in the dark energy is kind of like a void energy, but it's not a void. There's there's purpose for that, right? That's that transformation. That's the snake in the fucking waters energy, right? Fumbling around in the fucking dark, figuring it out, and trying to hold on to strength, as well as that Page of Wands energy, trying to deal with these emotions and processing this, so that you can hold on to joy and passion and enthusiasm for life, while still like learning to balance yourself out to be that King of Cups, but to elevate, right? Because you had your fucking heart cracked open more. The Eight of Swords, interference, making peace with, and the interference, they're showing me the puppet master of the illusions, all of the illusions that were set up in place, and all of the swords that, you know, it's that puppet mastery is what they're showing me, like the devil or the illusions of someone playing checkers and or chess, you know, and there was this falsity here of it. You thought you were doing one thing, but you were actually playing something else, and then seeing it and seeing. So we have the Eight of Swords, and so the making peace with this and understanding all of the illusions, the making peace with the fumbling in the dark, because you're cutting yourself free. The only way to make peace is to cut yourself free and to accept it for what it is, that you are manipulated. This interference I'm getting, and this outside interference, is manipulation. Lies, deceit, deception, illusions, right? People creating illusions for a reason, and that was to fuck you up, to make you indecisive, to control you, to hold on to you, right? To rob you from your joy, and now to rob you from your creativity. To rob you from your creativity. We have cruelty here with the Nine of Swords. The anxiety, the fear, this is why they wanted to rob you of your creativity, and rob you of your creativity because what? If you're balanced as a King of Cup, and you have enthusiasm and you have passion and joy for life and your creativity, you have to think, if you're balanced in your emotions, you're tapped the fuck in also. They're intuitive. So they know how to create. So what? What are they going to create? They're going to create the life of their fucking dreams, aren't they? So why would people try to hold on to you and deter you or fuck you over? Because they don't want you to create. They created this cruelty here. This game that was set up in an illusion that it was love, this falsity, because it was cruelty, because they wanted you to be afraid and to be fearful. They wanted you to fall the fuck down and give up on life and be tapped the fuck out. They wanted you to be unstable and unstable, you know, and feel like hopeless is what I'm getting with this energy, and not be enthusiastic, not have joy and passion and creativity to go after your dreams or to, you know, keep breathing is what I'm getting. So all Spirit is doing is elaborating more on the first reading. We have the universe talk about completion of a cycle. This is cyclical, though. This is, with every ending, there's a new beginning. So ending out, where there's confirmation here. There are synchronicities, even though the 10 is a cyclical number. So this is completion. The world is completion. It's just on a higher, grander scale, right? It's like once overcoming this, it's like you're in that completion cycle now of the 10 and needing to process it out. Once you do all of that and get that processed out, and able to maintain and bounce back, incorporating, holding on to the Page of Wands, holding on to that Page of Wands energy while processing out everything and having this higher learning and incorporating it into the King of Cups, then there's another completion. Okay, and it's the bigger completion because it's the world. So closing out those cycles for good and opening up the fucking doors to the new. And they don't want you to open the doors. They didn't want you to open the doors in the first place. That's why they took you down. That's what they're showing me. Remember they said for creativity, and not wanting to hold on. That's what it was. They didn't want you to have doors of opportunity for you to create and for you to like be resilient, to keep going, for creation. But they can't stop what is meant for you, is what they're giving me. And then we have the Six of Wands in reverse. Hold on here. It will be uprighted, okay? It's in reverse for a reason. You are already at a completion. What they're showing me is you were here at this world. Then illusions were created and you did a new cycle thinking it was something else, and you were not successful in that cycle. And they also did not want you to have victory in this cycle, but they can't take it from you. And so this is why this has been in reverse. In this new beginning, in these new opportunities, they had to be destroyed. They were not successful because they were illusions, and it like took you or deterred you off your pathway. Not really, right? Because anything that's meant for you is always meant for you. And if you're doing something, you needed it. You needed more experience in whatever it was. That means if you needed to be taken down further, you needed to be taken down further, right? You needed that growth. You needed that, whatever it was, whatever all you gained there, or even if it feels like a loss, right? For that new opportunity. It's like this needed to be shed. This transformation needed to take place. It's like if you want this new beginning and you thought that's what it was, it's like it was, right? That needed to take place before the new beginning. This other transformation, this other elevation, for actually that door and cycle. So it's like people think that they kicked you when you were down, or you may think that you were kicked when you were down, and maybe in a way that they did, right? But they didn't, because it needed to take place. That's what I'm getting. We have the Seven of Wands. This is valor. There's two sevens at the bottom, because they're wanting me to put this at the top. So there's 7-7. And this one is valor. This is you choosing, you making the choice, knowing that you can choose to have integrity and have character in the decisions that you make, right? This one's a little bit different in this deck. Most Seven of Wands is like fighting or competition, being set aside. But this one is you having valor, integrity, knowing that you can make a change, you can make a difference, you can do difference. It's all about you. So it's like these things that were not serving of you, people may have been able to give you this illusion and whatever, but they needed to be taken away, and you needed to be able to see, right? For your new beginning, for your creation. It's like what I'm getting with this is like what was meant for your harm was utilized for your good. So now when this doorway opens of this universe or the world card, now you can't be set back in that way. Because even if you're set back, you're not set back, right? Because you've learned how to incorporate this Page of Wands energy and enthusiasm and resilience and bouncing the fuck back and incorporate that into a higher elevation, a higher frequency, King of Cups energy, a mastery over your emotions. So you're going to be more unstoppable. It's funny. So I see how now the channelings of like the sun and the sun coming up. Okay. I can't really do any advice cards. Unfortunately, they're packed away. I do have only one thing out. I'm not even sure how it's out, and it's the Journey of Love. I don't have the energy to go through that and then to read that. So I'm not going to be able to do advice, guidance, or support. Anyways, I hope that this was helpful, beneficial, useful for you. and that it gave you some sense of peace or comfort or connection or support, knowing that you're not alone. If this resonated with you, I know I didn't get a chance to speak about readings and how to go about, knowing if they're for you or not. I'm really tapped out. I don't really have the energy. If you don't know, then you don't know, and that's okay. We all should know to the extent that if we don't resonate with something, then it's not for us, right? And if we resonate with something, then it's meant for us, and we have to apply it in our life or the situation as we see fit, because we're the only one who knows what's going on inside of our life. Like, this could be just you. It could be about you. This has more going on, but it's mainly about one person, but they went through a lot. So this could be someone else that going through something, right? And so it could resonate with you just because someone else has been going through this. Or you could be one of the persons who, unfortunately, I don't really see too many of those type of people, watching tarot card readings, but sometimes you do get some funny characters, right? That like to try to be on top of things or try to be nosy or whatever. They know someone's into something. So here and there you might, get someone, or so someone could be watching this who created the illusions and who stabbed somebody, right? So you have to apply things how it fits for you in your life and to the situation. Other than that, Spirit was like, talk about it. Okay. Talk about it. That's the best I can do. I'm really tapped out. I love you. I thank you for joining me. If you could, if you resonate, if you could please like and share my video and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. I appreciate you all. I appreciate everyone's love and support. We all need more love and support in this world, right? It makes life more worth living, and it gives us more joy, and it gives us more love and happiness to have support. We need more support in this world. But anyways, thank you for joining me. I love you, and have a great night.